Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Breaking the Silence. I am Luke.
I'm Kim.
And today is going to be another episode about cryptozoology, but this time I'm going to talk about local folklore, local sightings, local tales, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we've got Nottinghamshire from Kimberley, because she's from Nottingham. I'm from Grimsby, so I'll cover Lincolnshire area and Woodward, yeah, but he's had to drop out for some reason.
Yeah.
He would have done like the north of England, Newcastle area, Ripon, I think he was going to do. But I think I've got a little bit of one from, I say Lincolnshire, I've got one from Hull, I think, so I'll chip that in there as well, and I'll just class it as whatever.
We're trying to cover like most of the areas.
Yeah, just like the younger area. But like I say, if you've got any tales you want to tell us, you can get in touch with us on our YouTube channel or, like I say, Facebook, Breaking Paranormal UK. You can send us your sightings in.
Yeah.
And we'll cover them in a later episode. Yeah? Sounds good. So, I'm going to start with the werewolf of Dog Dyke, should I say? Dog Bike.
No, that would be weird, wouldn't it? If you saw a dog on a bike.
So Dog Dyke it's like a little area next to Tatchell Lakes area. I think it's near Boston, isn't it?
Don't know.
Tatchell Lakes. Can't remember. I know where it is, but I can't picture where it is. You know what I mean? Anyway, this story dates back to 1962. There was a man. He was doing a archaeological dig around his home in Langrick Fen, and he came across some bones, some humans, like a human skeleton, he said, but in this skeleton package, it had a wolf's head. So after he managed to get them all out, get them all dusted off, he took them back to his cottage and laid them on his kitchen table. So then, when he went to bed that night, he was woken up to a tapping on his window, and he woke up, and once he got his vision back and as he came round, he saw a werewolf stood at the window, which was wanting to get in. So after a couple of attempts, this werewolf managed to get in, smashed the window, and obviously this guy ran through to the kitchen area again, locked the door, barricaded it all up so he couldn't get in, and stayed there all night basically. So he went. Obviously, when the sun started to arise, he picked up the courage to go back into his bedroom where the werewolf was, and it was empty. I think he saw a footprint. It was a bit of a mess, but other than that, he didn't see it for the rest of that day anyway. So he decided to take the skeleton and the bones back to where he found them and bury them again. And then that was it. He never saw it again. So what do you make of that?
Wow. Bloody hell. So he digged up some skeleton.
Yeah, he was doing a dig, found some bones, which had a sort of wolf's head with the bones. So he decided to take it to his kitchen. Lay it on his table.
What if it might not necessarily have been a werewolf? It could have been a ghost.
That's what I put here. Could this werewolf just have been a ghost?
Because
Suggestion. What would you say?
No, I'll let you say first.
Like I say, suggestion also points to the black shuck, which is a reported ghostly black dog, and it's the same size as like a small cow, like a calf, pony size, donkey size. So this black shuck creature is said to be a sign of death. Shuck deriving from sucker, which means demon in Old English.
Right.
Was you thinking the similar?
No. I was thinking like maybe back when when he was alive, maybe when he died, a bit like Game of Thrones when King Rob dies.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert. When King Rob dies and they put the wolf's head on his body.
Oh yeah.
And then they might have buried him. I mean, obviously I know he isn't real, but it could have happened.
Could have happened.
in a different scenario in real life. You know,
Could have been,
some
it's just-
dude might have really loved wolves and they killed him for whatever reason, or he died. And then in honour of him, they might have chopped a wolf's head off and put a wolf's head on top of the body.
Might
And
have had a pet wolf.
yeah, and they thought, oh, that's a nice thing to do. He would really like that. Maybe that's what
Could be.
happened.
Could be. What, like the ghost is attached to its bones and stuff. And
Yeah, and if he's come back, dug up these
But
bones,
why would the guy see a werewolf?
because he probably, if you looked at it dead quick, you think, oh my god, that's a werewolf. If you saw a guy with a wolf's head, you would think werewolf, wouldn't you? If it's like middle of the night, it's dark, so you can't see the rest of him, and all you've seen is the head. You think, oh my god, that's a werewolf. When actually it's not a werewolf, it's a ghost of a person with a wolf as a head.
But the person wouldn't have had a wolf's head, would it, when he died? If that was the
Yeah, but if he
if he chopped a wolf's head off.
Yeah, but he might, because you don't know what you can do in the afterlife, do you? They say you can, you know, like the headless man, for example. He walks around with no head. You can't find his head. He's walking around with no up there. So
Could be.
he could maybe in his afterlife walk around with a wolf's head.
Okay. Anyway, there's been hundreds of sightings of werewolves and big dogs over the years. You've got I'll say the werewolf of Old Dog Dyke. I keep saying Dog Bike. And you've got Old Stinker in Hull.
The old what?
Stinker in Hull.
Why is he named like that?
The old stinker, because he stinks.
It's not very nice.
And there's also actually been sightings in Scunthorpe, Boston and Grimsby of this werewolf. I've never spoke to anybody personally that's actually seen one.
No.
But yeah.
Weird.
But so this dog dyke is it's located near Tattershall Lakes. It's like a caravan country park, and we're actually staying there.
Is that where
in
we're
June?
going?
Yeah, we're
We'll have to have
a couple of
look
weeks.
out.
We're staying there, so we'll have to go and look at dog dyke.
Take some tins of dog food out, yes.
Yeah, we'll go see if we can track it down, track this werewolf down.
Yeah. But is that the only one you got for that? Say for is that Grimsby? Is it near Grimsby?
That's Lincolnshire.
I was gonna say, because I'm really. Do you know what I'm expecting to hear from Grimsby?
Fish.
Fishman.
Yeah.
What you doing in my
half
waters?
Fish, half man, or he's got fish fingers. Because he's from Grimsby.
You're just taking the piss out. Grimsbyans now, aren't you?
Yeah. But that's what I'm expecting, so you better have something like that.
No, got no fishtail.
That's just ridiculous.
None.
Mermaid person.
Merman. No. No, as I say, there's no Aquaman, no Merman. Not that I know of, anyway. If you phone Grimsby and you know one of any river monsters, get in touch and let us know.
Cod, is it cod you lot are mad on?
Cod, haddock.
Haddock man.
Do you want to do one or do you want me to carry on with mine?
I'll do one. Well, I actually wanted to start off by saying, like in general, all across the Britain, the most common sighting for weird, unusual animals is actually big cats. And this is all over the place. It's not like one single area. It's mainly in countrysides. And I want to read something.
What?
So
Go for it.
I haven't read something in a while, have I, on these podcasts?
Can I could read?
Well, no, you just don't listen, do you? 249, hang on guys, bear with me. Right. Right, so this is about big cats, alright? So it says this population is likely to have originated from the introduction of Dangerous Wild Animals Act in 1976, a law that was meant to govern the licensing, registration and safe ownership of animals like big cats and other dangerous species, and the subsequent release by exotic pet owners of many individuals into the British countryside. So what I want to say about that was, we've actually got, just across the road from us, a bloke that actually owns lions.
Yeah.
Which is quite scary when you think about it, because you think if they get out and we're taking Buddy and Alfie for a walk, they'll eat us, 100%.
Well, he's had them as cubs though, hasn't it? So he didn't know if they might be friendly with humans.
Well, I wouldn't want to
I
test.
doubt it, but every time we walk across there, don't we? We're going to see them lions
You've
come out.
seen them, haven't you?
Yeah, if you walk around the track, you've got a big gap in this gate.
Mm.
And you can just have a look at them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's got 22 monkeys as well.
Wow.
They must be making a zoo.
Why?
Why not? He was in the pub on the night. He actually won custody. He's actually allowed to keep them. And they were celebrating, weren't they? Can you remember?
I can't remember. I know you met. I didn't see him there, but yeah.
It's where Ross Kemper's just done the wild cat thing.
Ross Kemper,
well.
and I think Stacey Dooley's just done.
Yeah, she's done
one
something
as well.
like that,
Yeah,
I've never actually watched him yet.
No, I haven't. But yeah, that's literally just over the road from us. So all these big cat sightings, they reckon that they are basically escaped animals.
Could be.
Which is.
I reckon. I don't think they're any cryptic. These big cat sites. I don't think they're anything cryptic like that.
Mm.
Just...
But they could literally, with them bringing them over, they could just start breeding in the wild, and then all of a sudden we've got lions and stuff living alongside us again.
Yeah, could be.
Which is I don't like that idea.
No, let's get your spares. Let's get our spares out, won't we?
No, I won't walk out the house. Can you imagine one of them on your walk? You walk in and all of a sudden a lion just pops out.
You'll probably see him walking him soon with a lead on, an harness.
Oh my god! Don't say that.
Like some of these rich folk do with the tigers, don't they?
Not out on the streets.
Won't surprise me, to be fair.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to start off by saying that because obviously the connection, because this is Nottingham, and it's literally just over the road, and like I say, it doesn't matter where you live, there's probably a big cat sighting somewhere near you, so that's one to look out for.
Just checking your local area to see if anyone's keeping cats. Or lions.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that.
Cool.
Do you want to go? You want to go?
Might go. So yeah. Next one I've got is it's another one from Grimsby, and it's from my sister-in-law's brother. He got in touch with us and sent us this sighting he saw, which is of the Black Stick Man phenomena. So I'm going to do a bit of reading. I can't read as well as Kim, but just
Why can't you read as well as me?
So I start stumbling, don't I? You know what I'm doing. So right, on this one, I was unsure of what category it actually fell into, whether it was cryptid, ghost sighting, a supernatural, alien, anything else like that, because it doesn't fit into a category like you'd say it's a ghost, or you say it because they just appear everywhere and anywhere they want to. Any country, any religion, anything they just appear anywhere. So I don't know what category it fits into. Although it's been most recently is cryptids. So I'm just going to say it anyway. I'm just going to stick this one in there. So I'm going to read what he sent me, and then I'll explain of what it could be, what it is. Sorry, I'll explain what other sightings. Okay. So it was June in 2018, and would have been a Friday. I finished work in Plymouth and got dropped off in Doncaster, where my partner met me, and I drove back. Something we've done loads over the years. It was dark, but it wasn't late, so I'm guessing it was around 10 PM, given the time of the year. I drove past Bradley Crossroads in the direction of Bradley Woods. Went past Bradley Pictures on the left and got to where the 40-mile-per-hour sign is before the care homes on either side of the road. It was around there that we both saw it. It was probably 30 metres in front of the car, and I describe it as an 8-foot shadow of a stickman with no arms, crossing the road in front of us from right to left. As I flicked on the head beams, the high beams, to get a better look, my partner says to me, "Can you see that too?" I could have passed it off as a shadow, a deer, being tired, anything really, but the fact she saw it too means it was definitely something. She said it was floating. I didn't look at its feet, but I remember its head I remember its head keeping a steady momentum and pace, suggesting it could have been floating. In the 10 seconds or so it took us to drive the 30 metres and fought at 40 miles per hour to the point we saw it, we looked into a massive open field on the left where it walked into, and it was empty. It looked something like It looked like something I'd seen before, night creepers, except the colour and the size was different. I believe the only cases I've been in the States. During the last lockdown, I posted to another page where under a different name and someone suggested it was a black stick man. It all matches up. Other than the video, it shows having arms, but everything else says size, shape, colour, speed, even the fact it was in the UK all matches up. Which he has sent us a video of. It's a YouTube video. We'll put a link on here because it's just a guy telling us all the stories of this stick man. So.
Is this what his footage?
No, this is another guy's YouTube video.
Oh,
It's not a video with video. It's a video telling stories of the sightings.
Yeah.
So I'd say. So where we've seen this thing in Bradley Woods is a hot spot for paranormal activity in Grimsby.
Have we been there?
No, I've been there on a number of occasions. I haven't took you yet.
Wow.
But Bradley Woods, if you speak to anyone that's been there, they've probably had an experience. They've probably seen something. They can't explain.
How many times we've been there?
No,
How many times we go to Grimsby and you've not took me to Bradley Woods?
We haven't really had time. It's always seen the family, isn't it? So yeah, even my own granddad has told me a story about the time he's driven past there when he saw a woman. She was wearing a white dress at the side of the road. Drove past it, not thinking anything of it because like there was 2 care homes. He thought she just got out or something. But when he looked in his rearview mirror, she was gone. I can remember telling me that one. I've always kept that one with me because I've always tried to keep an eye out every time I drove past it.
Was your granddad a believer or skeptic?
Yeah, believer I think.
Was it?
Yeah. But where like I say, from here you got Bradley Crossroads, you got Bradley Pub, and you drive down here, you got the care homes. Say you got Bradley Woods, Bradley, I can't remember what it's called, but the Woods across the road, and it's like a bend, and it goes all the way to Waltham.
Mm.
Is it Waltham? Holton Leigh area, yeah. So, this black stick man it's a stick man. You know like the stick man you used to draw at school?
Yeah, like hangman.
Yeah, it's just a hangman with a. Some say they've seen it with a round head, with a big hole in the middle, and some saying it's just like a normal stick man, with just like a circle head.
And this, you've got the footage of.
I've got. It's not the footage, but someone has got footage on YouTube.
Oh.
But I'll just show you a picture.
I say, I'd like to.
You
know what you're gonna get is. Like,
yeah, this is what's literally what it is.
What would that be then? What would you class that as?
That's what no one really knows what paranormal phenomena to put it in. Kind of what category. There you go. Just looks like that. Literally a stick man I used to draw at school. Some say it's ghosts, some say it's supernatural, devil, extra dimensional, aliens.
Okay.
See, there's some video footage of them, whether it's true or not. I'll let you decide on that one.
That's weird.
Well, yeah, that's also the can vary in size from 5 to 15 foot. Are said to be 2-dimensional, black from head to toes, with a reporting of a round-shaped like head, and have been sighted all around the world. They don't tend to fit any paranormal event and can happen anywhere at any time.
Strange.
That is a strange one. I would say if it was a thing, I probably would say it was.
A bit like shadow people.
That's what some people, because in that sense, they say that it's a shadow person.
Something you'd see at the corner of your eye.
Yeah, it's like a ghost thing. It's like a bit like Slender Man. It's like a monster. It's like, it could be a cryptid. It could be anything.
That's weird.
But yeah, if you've got some I'm sure you can get some videos of it.
Yeah, I'll have to.
I'll have a little look on YouTube
I'll
at the pictures
look
and
and I'll
put some
put
on.
some links at the bottom, and if people are interested to see what they're like, they can have a
Yeah.
look. I can do that.
Yeah, cool. Moving on.
So back to Nottingham. So this is just a quick one because I couldn't really find any more information on this particular sighting. But you mentioned like the werewolves, but another sort of sighting that's been seen here is it's like a dog creature, and what makes it different is that this dog creature is the size of a horse. And basically, this was sighted in an area called Kimberley, named after me.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically 2 bikers. It was around 2012. They were just riding along, and all of a sudden, they saw this creature that was the size of an horse, looked like a dog, but obviously it was not a dog. Must have been something different about it. And yeah. That's all I've got to say on that. I don't know.
So what is that, like a werewolf kind of thing?
I don't know if it's... No, because it doesn't say werewolf. So it wasn't like half dog, half man. It was literally a creature. It was an animal. Where I think...
If you're saying it's like a horse, it might fit into this one I've got for my next one.
Okay, what have you got?
Which is, it's a guide trash, which is also known as a shagfoal.
Okay.
Usually seen in northern England, but it has been seen in Lincolnshire, and it obviously if it's been seen in Lincolnshire, it could have travelled down here.
Yeah, could have done.
Which is a guide trash is a legendary cryptid entity, was said to haunt lonely roads awaiting travellers. Obviously, motorbikes travelling could be. Appearing in the shape of horses, mules, cranes, and dogs. The guide trash haunt solitary ways and lead people astray, but they can also be guiding lost travellers to the right road. Like say, if you're lost, they could leading you to the right track. But they are usually feared.
Why?
Just because they look like.
They look scary.
The description here, look. It's in some parts of Lincolnshire and Yorkshire, the guide trash was known as a shagfoal, which took form of a mule or a donkey.
Aww.
So, but the donkey, obviously, it's got big, snarly, white, fanged teeth. It's got a massive nose. It's got red eyes. Shape of an horse, shape of a donkey. Scraggy little thing.
So it's not like a cute donkey.
No, it's not cute. It's like a demon donkey.
Demon donkey.
So it could fit into that.
It could be the same thing, but is there anything about it sort of looking like a dog?
No, but that's what I'm saying. If what his fangs teeth are, I'll show you a picture.
No, look, this was the size of a horse.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That they go in the size of the donkeys and horses. Look.
And as well, I'm
shape of
sure
horses.
With this sighting, they saw it from afar. Like they were like on bikes, riding bikes, and they looked up, and behind the bushes they could see this weird big thing that was like the size of a horse, but it was like a dog creature. Now, to me, I think that could have been a Great Dane, because they're the size of a horse. Could have been an abandoned Great Dane that's been out for too long.
Yeah, could be.
And it's a bit scraggly and weird looking. I mean, you're crazy to abandon your Great Dane because they're really expensive dogs.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, and it's just not nice anyway. But that's what I think it probably was. But and from afar, it probably looked strange.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I think it was.
So what, you've seen the motorbikers as well?
No, they're just normal, normal riding
bikers.
the bikes.
So if it was with motorbiking, then I've seen with cyclists, they might have been going at some speed.
Mm.
Not really got a good look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a picture of one of them. Look.
Oh, okay. Could have been.
Could have been that.
Could have been the same. Yeah, I mean, it kind of does look a bit like a dog.
Yeah, that's like a horse.
That's very skinny. Weird. But no, I think you can debunk that quite easily.
Yeah.
With a dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with dogs and stuff. If the because you've got like so many like lost dog strays and stuff like that, they can get mistaken.
Yeah. And if they, like I say, if they've been out on their own and abandoned and poor things.
Especially if you're going back all these years as well, you got to remember like what animals would have been out there.
Do you mean like that's meant to be extinct, but might not necessarily be extinct?
Yeah, and that I say we could have had circuses running about, couldn't there? Travelling circuses like they did. Some animals could have escaped. Yeah, so the circuses used to travel, didn't they, with them in carts.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That like off what's that musical that you like? Great Showman.
Great Showman, yeah.
Where that woman with the beard and the.
Is it Barnaby? Is it Barnaby? Can't remember his name now.
Yeah. Could be. Could be
Escaped circus animals.
Yeah, could be. So yeah, that's something to look out for in Nottingham. Another place that's known for near enough everything here. It's really like a mythical place. Sherwood Forest.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, you instantly think of Robin Hood when you think
Robin
of
Hood
Sherwood
country.
Forest. But also that's been seen there is wild men. Wild men. In 2013, a man driving along Worksop Road spotted what looked like a father and son, wild man as he's described them, in between the trees. They were extremely tall and odd-shaped. Their heads looked like chimps with human features, and they were both covered with brown hair. And it's not the only sighting.
Chimps.
Yeah, it's not the only sighting. Even though like accounts of this is rare, but like there's been quite a few over the years, if that makes sense. So another, I'll give you two other sightings. A local teen witness seen one claiming that they were really hairy but with red eyes, and they reckon that there could be a connection with them being tree spirits. And I was like, well, what's a tree spirit? So I looked that up, and apparently a tree spirit is also known as a tree deity, D-E-I-T-Y.
D-E-I-T-Y.
Yeah, we looked this up, didn't we, the other day? It was like how we're pronouncing that. But they're usually represented in many. They're part of many different cultures. But they're usually represented as a woman connected with fertility. So I was a bit like, I don't get the connection, because if this is wild men, what's the connection? I don't quite get that. But yeah, another witness was an elderly gentleman. Said he saw he's described it as a humanid. Yeah, humanid.
Humanoid?
No, not humanoid. Humanid. Which I looked up. I was like, what? Just to be clear on what that is. And that's basically a part of an ape family, known as the Great Ape, which is now extinct. And this sighting was in 1982, and he said the figure again was large and again very hairy, but it moved very quickly. But he reckons the connection is obviously like maybe our ancestors or a form of ape that's now extinct.
Could be, yeah. Well, like I say, if it's the tree spirits, is that what you're looking at there?
I'd imagine that might be the connection, but.
Well, like I say, what they say, elementals and stuff. Could it not fall into that category?
Could do.
Cause look at the pictures.
That looks quite.
If you just put in Google like wild men, you can get some cool pictures of what we're actually talking about. We'll put some on the podcast anyway. Yeah.
I suppose when you put that like that, they do look a bit.
Yeah.
It
depends how tall was they?
Really tall, really large.
I'm saying because it might just be like people living in the forest, like tribes and stuff.
Do you really think so in Sherwood Forest?
No, why not?
Because
what year was it?
Well, the first one I read out was 2013.
So it's not so recent then.
Kind of recent, but like Sherwood Forest isn't as big as what it used to be.
No, it's not.
Like, they've cut into it a lot, and it's like it's really popular. Like loads of people go every day. Do you honestly think that these things would be, and wouldn't they be more? Like, I know that there's been quite a few over the years, but like I say, it is quite rare now.
Could be Bigfoot, British Bigfoot.
Could be. People have said it could be Bigfoot. Our own version of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Bigfoot science has been seen about, hasn't it? Obviously, we talked about that last time, didn't we? So we never putting Bigfoot in this one, so.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got for Sherwood Forest. So next time you ever go there, look out
Keep out for the wild men.
Look out for
the
red.
wild men.
Look out for the red eyes. What was that? What? I know that Scamps is moving around a bit, but...
We've got our own cryptid running around the living room at the minute. He's a rabbit, but... Yeah, it's like a wild rabbit.
Yeah, wild rabbit. So yeah, that's all I got for that one.
So...
Hey, hi, so I'm Glenn. I missed the podcast last night because I fell asleep on this couch. I was rough off the weekend, 2-day sesh, and I was completely passed out on the couch about 6:15, and I had to wake up till 9 o'clock this morning. So apologies to Luke and Kim for missing out altogether. However, they did ask us to do a video input to put in fucking Jesus. To have an input on the legends and myths of my local area. I've got a big one today, which is the legend of the Lambton Worm. It's about the family of Lord Lambton. We've got like Lord Lambton's estate and that around the area, Fatfield, Penshaw, Shiny Road and stuff like that. And I'm from the village of Penshaw. So what I'll do is I'll send it across now, is write it out. I asked them if they want to do an audio, they said no, put it in video, so I'm going to video myself telling you the story of the Lambton Worm. Well, the legend of the Lambton Worm. So the Lambton Worm is a legend from County Durham in the northeast of England and is one of the area's most famous pieces of folklore. There's even pubs named after it, you've got the hill named after it, there's a well that's still preserved after it, and so on. And the Lambtons are a true family, they are a real family around the area. So the story is centred around a young John Lambton, heir of the Lambton estate, County Durham, and his fierce battle with a gigantic worm/dragon/serpent. There's different stories of it, but this is one that everyone knows about, that had been terrorising the local villages. The details of the story have then changed over time, with each telling as with most myths of its kind. So this story reveals that young John Lambton, he was a defiant lad who missed church one Sunday. He went to go swimming and fishing in the River Wear. But in many versions of the story, while walking to the river or setting up his first fishing equipment, John receives a warning from an old man or a witch, it depends who's telling the story, that no good can come from intentionally missing church. And so it happens that he didn't catch a single fish whilst church service was on, until when it concluded, he fished out a small eel/lamprey-like creature with a salamander-like head bearing 9 holes on each of its story. The worm was meant to be no bigger than a thumb, or about 3 feet long. In some versions it has legs, while in other versions it has more than closely can resemble a serpent. So at this point the old man returns. John proudly claims that he has caught the devil himself and decides to dispose of this catch by discarding it down a nearby well. The old man then issues further warnings about the beast's nature and departs. There is, I will get a photo up if it is possible, there is a little well, it's next to the river bar and a memorial cenotaph. It's just a concrete bricked up well, and it is there, if I can try and find a photo of him. But he forgets about the creature in the end. He throws it, obviously after throwing down the well, and joins the Crusades as a penance for his rebellious years. The Crusades were a series of religious wars sanctioned by the Latin Church in the medieval period. But as time goes by, the worm grows immensely large and the well becomes poisonous. Villagers start to notice livestock going missing and discover that the worm, now fully grown, has emerged from the well and coiled itself around a local hill. Now there's 2 hills. The first version is a village that I'm from, Penshaw Hill, before the monument was erected. So you've got Penshaw Hill, which is a massive hill in the local area. You've also got what we call Worm Hill, Lambton Hill, Fatfield Hill. So there's 2 hills that I could have wrapped it around. Depends on the story. It's wrapped itself around Penshaw Hill, and it's also wrapped itself around Worm Hill. The one I knew is it was only Worm Hill, which is 100 metres from the well that was found. In some versions, the hill is Penshaw Hill, on which the Penshaw Monument now stands, but the locals credit the nearby Worm Hill and Fatfield The worm was so huge that it could coil itself around the hill 7 times. It is said that the marks of the worm can still be seen on Worm Hill. Nowadays, both hills are used for sledging in winter because they're just that steep. This is Penshaw Hill. I've got other photos of it. That's the village just down where I'm from. And I don't think it has Worm Hill, does it? And so it does. That's Worm Hill. Fatfield. Worm terrorised the local villages, preventing cows from producing milk, eating sheep and abducting small children apparently. Didn't get that one myself. It then headed towards a Lantern Castle, which is real, where John Lantern's senile father somehow manages to sedate the creature in what becomes a daily ritual. The worm is offered the milk of 9 good cows, 20 gallons. But then a number of villagers come forward and try and kill the beast, obviously to no avail, as they were quickly dispatched by it. When a chunk is cut off the worm, it simply reattaches the missing pieces to itself. Visited knights also try to kill the beast, but none of them survive. When annoyed or defensive, the worm uprooted large trees by coiling its tail around them, and then causing mayhem and destruction by swinging the uprooted trees around like a mace. 7 years later, John Lantern returns from the Crusades to find his father's estate extremely impoverished. He decides to fight the beast, but first seeks guidance from a wise witch near Durham. No recollection if it's the same witch/man who warned him of the serpent itself, but he's gone to find help or guidance anyway. So the witch hardens John's determination to kill the beast by explaining his responsibility for the worm. She tells him to cover his armour in spearheads and to fight the worm in the River Wear, where he's obviously originally fished it out from. The witch also tells John that after killing the worm, he must then kill the first living thing he sees. So after killing the worm, he must then kill the first living thing he sees, or else his entire family will be cursed for 9 generations and will not die in their warm beds. John prepares his armour accordingly to the witch's instructions. Before going to fight the beast, John arranges with his father that when he has killed the worm, he will sound his hunting horn thrice. On receiving this signal, his father is to release his favourite dog so that it will run to John, who he can then kill and avoid the curse. Bit horrific really, you know what I mean? Would have thought you'd find a fish, but no, we'll go for the favourite dog apparently. So then he confronts the worm by the river, spends its days wrapped around the Great Rock, and it spends itself wrapped around the Great Rock. Don't know where that rock is. The worm tries to crush him, wrapping its claws around him, but the cuts itself. So the worm tries to crush him, so it's wrapped itself around him. He's comforted, let's go, bro. Drags it in the river with him. Worm wraps itself around him, tries to crush him, cuts itself every time due to the armoured spikes attached to it. Chunks of the worm fall off into the river and are washed away before the worm could reattach itself. I thought it was a wasp. Eventually the worm is dead, and John, still aware of the curse, sounds his hunting horn 3 times. There's a nice little sexy image of the worm and John battling. Unfortunately for him though, John's father is so excited about the beast being dead that he forgets to release the hound and rushes out to congratulate his son. John cannot bear to kill his father, and so after they meet, the hound is released and dutifully dispatched. So he's seen his dad first, didn't want to kill his dad, still kill the dog. But since John's father was in the first living thing he saw, since John's father was the first living thing he saw, and since had failed to kill his own father, 9 generations of the Lantern's family are cursed, and they shall not die peacefully in their beds. But the story did end then. That was the story finishing. But as for the curse, it did hold true for at least 9 generations, which has contributed to the popularity of the story. So, for example, the first generation, Robert Lantern, drowned at Newrig. Sir William Lantern, a colonel of foot, died. He was killed at Marston Moor. William Lambton died in the Battle of Wakefield. Henry Lambton died in his carriage crossing the Lambton Bridge on the 26th of June 1761. It was also made into a song. I can't remember the song myself. It was written in 1867 and it has been passed on by oral tradition and has several different variants. And there is a song here on YouTube already, and I don't really want to play it because I don't really know it. Again, apologies for not turning up last night for the podcast, but I hope this helps. Bye, bitch.
So yeah, overall, what do you think?
Overall, what do I think? I think there's a possibility, isn't there? You want to believe in it all, but until you see it yourself, it's just sceptical views, I suppose, isn't it? I think back in the day when people are seeing these things, there would have been like different. It would have been a totally different environment, different lifestyles, different. There's just everything would have been different, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
Like the way people live, the way people talk, people think.
Do you mean like what decade?
Yeah, I was just
like what, like
19s,
medieval?
Yeah, medievals.
Yeah, well, they would have had a
1800s.
different mindset.
That's
So
what I mean.
to them, when they would like, I don't know, if they'd probably seen a whale for the first time. Imagine how today whales are massive.
Yeah.
They'd probably look at that and go, that's like a mythical creature.
That's what I
That's
mean.
not. But yeah, I think that a lot of these I think you can debunk now. Because there's I think a lot, especially like obviously with the big cats, that to me is not cryptid. That's just people owning these lions and these whatever else they're owning and they're just getting out. So I don't think that should be classed.
Okay.
But these dog creature things, I think they probably are dogs or
What about
I don't
werewolves?
know, werewolves. I don't know. They just don't. Come on, werewolves.
It's very mythical, isn't it? It's like
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter stuff, yeah. But like I say, back in the day, they could have been out. It's just now because we don't see that much of it. It's like what I said last time. Is it what is happening on Earth, or is it like the alternate universe mixing? And that's when we see it.
Oh God,
There we go, my theory.
So this is because you watched King Kong that one time.
No, it's not.
It's
It's from Fringe. No, that's the old saying is alternate universe is when they collide, it's a glitch. You see what's in their universe and they see what's in yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
Could be, I suppose, in your mind.
But if you have got any sightings that you want for us to feature on the podcast, you can get in touch. Like I say, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter,
And
Instagram,
now
TikTok, or you can research this stuff yourself. There's a local cryptid map on Google. It's called Deborah Hatswell's Cryptid Sightings Map.
Yeah.
I think it just type that in Google and it'll come up.
Yeah, we've put it on quite a few of our boards, haven't we?
And you can get in touch with her as well on the email that's on there, or she's on Facebook, and you can tell her your sightings and she'll add it onto the map, I'm sure. You guys, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.